So I'm a little sick, guys. Just letting you know. I have a sore throat, and I've other than that, compared to
Sure.
the last time we did a podcast, I'm sure my face is looking pretty different because I'm bloated as can be. I just competed in my second bodybuilding show, and I had my fair share of food yesterday and today, so I'm looking like a balloon right now. But I can't wait to get this bloat off because I'm reverse dieting now. So yeah, man.
Definitely sick from all the dieting and all that, you
Oh
know.
yeah, man. As soon as you go from a really stressful routine where you're really hammering your body every day to like complete relaxation, you just get sick. Like apparently it happens to people all the time that are working really hard and then they go on vacation all of a sudden. As soon as they're on vacation, they just get sick. So but other than the sore throat and the stuffy nose, I feel great. I feel physically great. I'm taking a few days off from the gym, just
Yeah,
let my body recover.
yeah.
I'll probably just go for a walk and get some sun today. But other than that, I'm feeling well, feeling pretty good. And I'm really excited to talk fights. And
Sure.
we had an amazing weekend of fights. As far as my bodybuilding is concerned, I didn't do as well as I wanted to do. I got whooped on stage. That being said, I was very happy with the physique that I brought. But again, you stand next to these guys that are on the sauce. They're bigger in general, and I'm not the biggest guy, so I just got outsized out there. So I actually have a guy that I'm working with now, Bob Waterhouse. He's an IFBB pro, a
Yeah.
natural IFBB pro, and I've had him on my podcast, and he's going to be coaching me, and he's coaching me for like a really good deal, basically for free. So I have a coach now, and I'm looking to do another competition soon, and I'm going to be way better. So, um, but
That's
yeah,
exciting. That's exciting. So
but
no bulk in between.
there's two things that I'm going to do. Number one, either I'm going to do a show in 3 months and just bring a different look and maximize what I have, because my prep for this last show is only 2 months max. If I do like a 3 month prep, I believe I have good muscle to go into a show and do better. But I think that again, there was so much I could have done. I could have been eating 6 meals a day instead of four. I could have been preparing for and before that, I was fucking around eating 2 meals a day. So I think either I'm going to do a 3 month prep for another show, or I'm just going to go into an off season and stay very lean because, you know, getting fat is just an excuse to get fat. I mean, it's just an excuse to eat like shit. And the best way to build muscles is to stay lean and be in a lean body fat while putting on tissue. So
My
that's yeah.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say the goal, if I do bulk, is to stay very lean while doing it.
My body weight since I cut. So I finished my cut at 187.
Yeah.
Now I'm like 203 or 202. So I didn't, and it's been like over a month. Like, so I didn't really like I wouldn't say like that's like a complete blow up, you know what I mean? Like I usually like when I'm like bulking or not really bulking, but like when I'm like maintaining, I'm usually around like 215, 220. So I haven't really like gone off the deep end at all, which
Yeah.
has been nice, and you feel a lot better. Like when I stopped cutting also, I actually had really bad hiccups for 2 days, 3 days,
Yeah,
nonstop
man.
hiccups. It's just from eating super fast, and like when your body is like it's also just hard in your stomach when you're like dieting all that, and then you just switch completely to like a normal diet, and then you just like your body isn't ready for it. So I'm sure that's why you got sick, your
Yeah.
body isn't used to like
I mean, I was sick on Thursday. I was sick even before my show. I woke up on, you know, Friday with a sore throat. I On the day of the show, I had like the driest sore throat that I could have
Jesus,
had.
that's brutal.
However, it didn't really change my physique because I don't have a fever or anything like that.
Just a
Just
cougher.
a cold. Yeah, just a cold. That's it. But I'm feeling good, and there's no better time to have a cold than now because I just competed, and I need to relax and
For
just
sure. For
let my
sure.
body recuperate. And honestly, I'm really happy because I feel like, this is one of the only the second time this summer where I've felt like there's a big card coming up. We've had a lot of cards this summer. We've had good fight nights, but the last time I felt really, really hyped up for a weekend was for International Fight Week, the Adesanya Cannonier card. The main event wasn't great, but the card in general was pretty damn good. I feel that way again going into this week. I honestly, the UFC always has a great card in August, so I'm really excited for this. Kamaru Usman at this point, every time he fights, it's big because he's really cementing his legacy, and for the first time in a while since the Masvidal rematch, because I wanted Usman to win that as well, just to put a stamp on that. But I'm really rooting for Usman this time around. And a part of me is a little bit worried for Usman because I just get this sense from him that he seems to be really relaxed in these interviews. He has this different energy about him, and it reminds me of the energy that Tyron Woodley had going into the Usman fight when Usman dethroned Tyron Woodley. And I'm kind of noticing that. Now it's a little different because Usman's already beat Edwards and he's already done this before. And it's a completely different stylistic matchup. I don't see Edwards going out there and, train wrestling Usman or
Dominating
tackling him that much. But at the same time, I just get this energy from Usman. It's kind of this I don't know. He's got a little bit of the smug attitude.
Yeah.
That I haven't really seen on him. He's always very cocky, he's always very confident in his interviews. But for some reason he seems to I don't see I don't see any kind of real sense of threat in his the way that he's speaking. I don't really think that he feels in any way threatened by Leon Edwards. I know that he respects the skills. I know that he recognizes how good Leon is, and anyone in the right mind would recognize how good Leon Edwards is technically. But I get the sense that he's going into this fight, and for some reason, he thinks that there's just no way that Leon Edwards could hurt him. And I don't think he's feeling this level of danger that you would feel going into a Masvidal fight or a Burns fight or a Hamzat fight because Leon doesn't finish guys. And I'm kind of worried because I am starting to think that, maybe Leon Edwards could win this fight and maybe Kamaru is underestimating the level of danger that Leon could potentially possess in the octagon. So what do you think? Do you get a similar read from that? Because last night I was listening to a lot of Kamaru Usman interviews, recent ones. I listened to one today. He's cool as a cucumber, man. He's very confident as always, but again, I don't think that he's threatened at all. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's just testament to how hard he's worked and how confident he is.
Yeah, I kind of get the same thing also. Like it seems as if like he's just not really like considering this a serious fight at all. Like I mean, he's taking it like I'm sure like he's training seriously, but he's not like he doesn't have this intensity in his eyes, at least from
Yeah.
the interviews as of late.
It seems forced. It seems
Yeah,
like he's forcing himself to try to have that, but it's not real.
yeah, like it could be different fight week, like who knows?
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have this same intensity in his eyes as when he fought Colby, when he fought Masvidal 2 times, when he fought Burns. Like he just had this intensity in his eyes, like wanting to prove something. And I just feel like he's just kind of just like not doesn't have that, like he's not really talking about proving anything. Like what has he said about proving something? Nothing.
Yeah, I feel like this is just for him. The way that he's talking about this is just to check off a box. So I got Leon Edwards out of there. That's another win on my legacy. Second win from Leon. Leon is this guy that's finally getting the shot, and I have to do what I have to do. But it's not like this serious fight. Whereas he even said in the interview that came out today on ESPN MMA with Brett Okamoto, he said that he said, and I quote, I'm not gonna lie, the Hamzat fight, of course, would get me hyped up much more than the Leon fight.
Yeah.
And that's pretty natural because everyone expects that to be the fight that we all want to see. Everyone expects the guy. So, but I'm just
Still, that's not the mindset you want. That's not the mindset you want in a fight week against a guy who's won like 8 straight fights, like or 10 straight fights. I could one of the two. Yeah,
I mean, how are you feeling about this main event? I mean, I know that we both are leaning towards Usman, but now that we're getting closer, how do you see it going down? And what are the potential, chances that this fight is going to be a one-sided fight or a really competitive fight?
So this fight, I kind of see like so I agree. I think Usman's gonna win, and I want Usman to win. I don't want because if Usman loses, he's gonna rematch with Leon, and
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I want to see Usman versus Chimaev. I think everybody wants to see that fight. So let's get Usman. I hope Usman wins and just fights Chimaev. But anyways, in terms of this fight, I could see honestly two things. I could see Usman bringing it to decision using some of his striking and some of his more of his wrestling, and just like pretty much just dominating Edwards for 5 rounds. Or I can also see Usman. Actually, I could see three outcomes. I could see Usman in the early, like maybe the first 3 rounds, just KOing Edwards, like just completely knocking him out, and that'll be it. And then the last outcome I could see that it's actually I think is pretty likely is that Usman just dominates for the first 4 rounds. Fifth round, Edwards is a big gas, and Usman finishes him there because Edwards doesn't have the best gas tanks in the 5 rounders. Um, so I could see like going against a guy like Usman who's gonna wrestle you. Um, he keeps the pace relatively high. So I think that could really tire Leon out, and then Usman get a finish late. But and then if Leon wins, I'm just trying to like that's how I always think of each fight. Like I always think like what are the different possible outcomes for each opponent? And I just think with Leon, it's hard to really think of an outcome like other than like being able just to, like Usman not even like trying to wrestle for 5 rounds and just striking the whole time and not getting caught. Like that's the only way I can really see him winning. I don't think he's going to be able to stop Usman's wrestling. I know his takedown defense has gotten a lot better over the years, but how many takedowns are you going to be able to stuff from a guy like Usman? Like so I just don't really see Leon winning.
Yeah.
But I mean we'll see. We'll see.
I see it differently. I don't see Kamaru Usman dominating this at all. And
Yeah.
people will say and they'll point to the fact that Leon Edwards barely scrapes by basically every opponent that he has. And that, because he was barely scraping by a Gunnar Nelson and Nate Diaz, he dominated the Nate Diaz fight, but I mean, like, he wasn't knocking them all over the place.
Yeah.
But because he's barely scraping by these guys in each round, especially the RDA fight, he won every round, but it's by a small margin. You might say, okay, well, he's not going to be able to do that against Usman, but that's his style. His style is very defensively sound.
Mhm.
He stays at range. He doesn't put himself in a lot of danger, and he's a sharpshooter. Right, right. He's gonna snipe you at range. He's gonna pick you apart a little bit, but he's just gonna barely edge out the round, and he's always in safety. So I can see Edwards winning rounds against Usman because he can stay at range. I think he has the level of striking and the takedown defense needed to at least keep Usman off of him in a lot of situations. And he's very good in the clinch as well. I could see him winning convincing rounds against Usman, close rounds but convincing rounds. I think the level of striking is going to be evident because I know Usman's a great striker, but when you're up against a guy like Leon Edwards, it's different. He's not on the level of Leon Edwards. He's not as fast as Leon Edwards. He's not as technical as Leon Edwards. He's a big power puncher who's got a good jab.
Yeah.
But the way I see this going down is I think it's going to be very close. I think that Leon Edwards is going to edge out, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. But
Wow.
as the fight goes on, Leon Edwards, he's showed to slow down. He can slow down in these fights. I think that Kamaru Usman is going to pick up his pace as the fight goes on. He's going to start to wrestle more because I think he's not going to find success in the striking. Now, of course, Usman could land a big shot if Edwards makes a mistake and he can put Edwards out because Edwards has gotten cracked, he's gotten dropped, he's gotten put out, he's almost gotten finished by Nate Diaz. Usman could do the same thing, but I think Edwards is going to be on point in this one. I don't see that happening at all. I think that Usman's gonna have to really, really grit down, and I think he's just gonna have to break Edwards later on in the fight. I see Edwards winning at least two of the first three rounds, and I see Usman winning the last two. And the way I see it going down is I think it's going to be a really late finish from Usman, a fourth or fifth round finish, TKO on the ground, or I think Usman's going to really utilize that clinch game. He's going to use his strength, his size, and his wrestling because I don't think he's going to find success with the striking. And I think he's going to edge out a decision. So that's how I see it going down. I just think that Edwards is so good at winning rounds and taking it round by round. And I think his takedown defense is excellent. And again, Usman's a great wrestler, but he doesn't always find those takedowns. And Edwards is a big, strong guy as well. So I think it's going to be close. I'm going to pick Usman by decision. And I could see him maybe getting that late stoppage, but I just think it's going to be razor close. And I think Usman's path to victory is clinching, wrestling, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'll go with Usman by unanimous decision.
Will you be surprised if Edwards wins by decision? Because I don't see Edwards finishing Usman.
I would. I mean, that would be kind of the only outcome for him to
Yeah,
win.
that's that. Yeah.
So like, would I be surprised? Like, I mean, like,
I
yeah.
think that'd be a big letdown because if he does win by decision, it's going to be a boring fight.
If he does beat Usman by decision, it's going to be convincingly. They're not going to give a guy like Edwards the belt over a guy like Usman.
Convincing, but I don't think he's going to like whoop Usman.
No. I mean, you'd have to clearly win rounds to actually win the fight. Because if it's close in any way, they're going to give it to Usman. So like,
probably, yeah.
if he wins by decision, it's going to be like he's going to convince like the rounds are going to be clear that he wins. Like the fight, he's probably not going to dominate because that's just not how he fights usually. But
he's also been out of the cage, Edwards, for a long time, more than a year.
Yeah, a little over since the Nate Diaz fight. I think it was in last June.
And Usman has been injured. You know, I don't think Usman's gonna have as much striking success. You know, he's been injured. He's broke his hand. Hopefully, he goes in with a wrestle heavy game plan. I'm gonna pick Usman, but I don't see this being a barn burner. I see this being a slower, more technical fight, and I think it's gonna be similar to the first fight. I think Usman's gonna really use his wrestling later on. He's gonna dominate the later rounds. So
he should.
I think Edwards is gonna really win the first. My prediction is this: I think Edwards is gonna easily win the first round. That's my prediction.
Okay, I could see that. I mean, Usman is gonna have some sort
of. If you had to bet on it, if you had to say how is this gonna go down, would you either bet Usman by decision or Usman by late finish?
I would say Usman by decision if I had to. Yeah. If I had to, I just think it's a safer bet. I mean, I could see Leon winning a round or two, just because like maybe like you said, round one for sure could see that. Usman wants to fill out the striking, and I could see like Edwards just being better at it, you know. So I could see him winning like round one and maybe like another round, like round four or round not. I don't know if it'd be round four, but round three or something. But I just think Usman by decision for sure. But I wanted to look at a couple other fights actually, since we're already talking about UFC 278. So Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, the battle of the dumbest fighters and
dumbest, best looking fighters.
Best looking, dumbest fighters. Yeah. Yeah, man. I really want Rockhold to win. Don't get me wrong. I like Paulo Costa, but you know, he is Brazilian, he's foreign, he doesn't really speak that English very well. Sure, he's funny, but you know, I'm American. I can't really relate to that because, you know, if your English is really that broken, it's just harder to relate to someone. You know what I mean? So that being said, Rockhold's cocky. Rockhold is seen as a douchebag and all that, but he's just had such bad luck throughout his last three fights, you know, getting knocked out by Bisping, knocked out by Yoel Romero, and then knocked out by Jan Blachowicz. I want to see him succeed because I just want to see him get a win. He's been coming back. He takes nothing but tough fights, and it'd be awesome to see Luke Rockhold get his hand raised. It'd be awesome to see Luke Rockhold finally get a big win because he is just, I'm sorry, but he's just it's a sad case. You know, he was a champion and he's just going downhill fast. I see Paulo Costa knocking him out. I don't see Luke Rockhold winning this fight at all. Paulo Costa's too big. He's too strong. I don't think Luke Rockhold takes him down. Sure, Luke Rockhold's a monster if he gets on top of someone, but Paulo Costa,
It's too big.
Yoel Romero couldn't take him down, you know, so he reversed a takedown from Yoel.
Yeah.
Yoel's silver medal Olympic wrestler. I just think, you know, it's a chin thing. He doesn't have the chin. Sure, Luke Rockhold could be winning this fight, you know, but he's gonna get caught and he's gonna get put out.
Yeah.
Sadly, I want him to win really badly. I really want Luke Rockhold to win. Paulo Costa, sure he wins, whatever. I don't see Paulo Costa ever becoming champion. Not with a guy like Izzy, not with a guy like Whitaker. You know, maybe there are going to be some other beasts coming up in the division, Bo Nickel or some other wrestlers. He'll never be a champion. He's great. He's always going to be in the top 10. He's an excellent fighter. But if Luke Rockhold wins, sure, he's never going to be champion, but at least he gets a big win. And that's all fans want to
That'll
see.
be good for his career, yeah. His legacy, I guess. And I agree with you. I think Costa's gonna win. I probably think he's gonna win in the first round or second round, honestly. Like
I think it's gonna be a first round knockout.
yeah, he's gonna dude, I can't see Rockhold after 3 years off with chin concerns back then.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been 3 years. Yeah. So
wow.
So he's been out for 3 years. I just can't see him like beating a guy like Costa who's coming off 2 straight losses. Needs a win. Like he needs it. He needs it more than I think he'd be more motivated than Luke, honestly, you know, at this point.
He needs a win because his last fight, he arguably put up a great performance. Sure, he missed weight and that was a whole debacle and that was pathetic, but he's put up a great performance against Vittori. Vittori just happens to be, you know, the toughest dude on earth. Probably the best chin in the UFC aside from Max Holloway. But you know, Costa, again, Rockhold is not just going in there with any other middleweight. He's going in there with one of the big punchers at middleweight. And Costa's tough. He's tough as nails. Adesanya knocked him out, but that was a one-off.
That was a bit different, yeah.
That was a little different. Yeah, man. I just don't see this going well for Rockhold. I think Costa, he's the kind of guy he can eat 3-4 shots to give one, and that's, you know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Costa first round finish, just like you.
Let me ask you a question. Are you betting on these?
Personally, I'm not.
But that's a good thing. But yeah.
You saw the segment.
Yeah.
I think we should keep doing it. We're 1-0.
So let me ask you, which is your lock for the card?
Okay, lock of the card.
I think it's got to be Costa, bro.
Let's put up I'm gonna put up the odds on my screen real quick.
Yeah, let's see the odds.
And I want to see
let's look at the top 3 fights on the main card.
Do it, Bars. I'm not gonna give any credit to any sports books until we get sponsored.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pulling it up right now. All right, so let's just check this out. All right. Okay. Okay. UFC. Okay. This is not gonna give us the what is wrong? Okay, so it only says it's not giving us the odds on the finish for Costa fight, but for Usman fight, yeah, it's not giving us the odds yet.
There's got to be, go on the UFC official website.
UFC official. It gives you this. Okay, it gives you the odds for the fights, but not the odds for like a finish.
Yeah, I see. Well,
yeah,
let's see. Usman is at minus 330. I don't like that. I think it should be closer. I think Usman should be maybe a minus 200, but
parlay it.
Damn, the odds aren't available for that one.
Yeah, for that fight, it says I have it here actually. It says Costa minus 312.
I think those are good odds.
Yeah, I honestly parlay with those two.
What about Jose Aldo and Merab?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Dude, honestly, that's a hard one to predict. I
Yeah,
hope.
we're both at odds with that one because I'm picking Aldo. I think that's clear as day.
That's a
And the only reason I say that is because if Aldo was looking older and a little more washed in his recent performances, I would definitely pick Marab. But Marab gets cracked a lot in his fights. He's chinny and he's up against one of the best anti-wrestlers in UFC history. And Jose Aldo gave Piotr Jan arguably his toughest fight outside of Aljamain in the rematch, of course. But Jose Aldo competed with Piotr Jan and really, really gave him a tough fight. And then he went out and he smoked um, Rob Font.
and he smoked Cheeto Vera, honestly.
He beat Cheeto Vera as well, and we see what Cheeto is doing to everyone. We have to talk about him as well. We'll get there, but Cheeto's finishing everyone.
Yeah.
Marab, he fought Moraes and he went to war. I mean, he lost the first round, almost got finished in the first round, and this is a chinny Marlon Moraes who's on the decline, who's not as good as he was coming up. I just think that Jose Aldo is too much of a beast, and I understand Marab is a beast, but I got to go with Jose Aldo. However, you're going with Marab.
I'm actually gonna change my pick.
You're changing the pick.
I'm
Okay.
changing the pick. I'm changing the pick. I'm going Aldo.
I'm gonna go with Aldo by I'm gonna go with Aldo by decision in this
Yeah, I'm
one.
gonna go with Aldo by decision too. I think yeah, I Aldo's danger.
I'm
Aldo's
gonna look up his age. I want to see Jose Aldo's
I don't
age.
even think it, dude, honestly, like I don't even think it matters. His age just I just think that like
He's 35, and let's see how old is
dude,
Rob. Rob is 31.
I mean Rob's definitely a lot younger, but I could see Aldo winning and then just getting a title shot right away. That's what
Yeah.
I kind of see happening.
The weird thing about bantamweight is you have all these guys. First of all, everyone's fighting each other. Bantamweight's the best division right now because
For
everyone
sure.
fights.
Most exciting for sure.
Most exciting division. However, you have Aldo Marab, you have Jan O'Malley, and you just had Cheeto Cruz. Like, who's getting the next title
Oh,
shot?
dude, it's gonna be Aldo if he wins for sure. The UFC is gonna want to give it to Aldo. He's a big name.
Yeah,
It's his last chance, so they want to maximize it.
that's
So
true.
they're gonna give it to Aldo. Like I'm pretty positive they're going
And
to.
you think Jan and the winner of Jan O'Malley versus Cheeto?
So I think if O'Malley beats Peter, I could see him getting a title shot just because like you beat the number one guy. Like what else do you need to do? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, but if Peter wins, like they're not gonna give him a title shot for beating Sean O'Malley, the number
No.
13 guy. They're gonna make him fight Cheeto. They'll have
But,
Aldo.
but O'Malley and Cheeto would be a massive fight.
Yeah, but like I can't see the UFC going with a guy. They'll give Cheeto the next title shot if O'Malley beats Aljo. You know what I mean? Like I don't, or if he loses to Aljo. I just, dude, if you beat the number one guy in the UFC, like you get
Yeah,
your
O'Malley's definitely going to get the title shot. But
you
again,
get
that's
the
why
title
it's
shot.
weird because you just said that Aldo's going to get that title shot.
But if Aldo's gonna get it, if Peter wins the
Okay, yeah, which is
fight.
most
So
likely.
yeah, so I would say it's most likely. So if Peter wins O'Malley fight, Aldo wins against Marab. Aldo's gonna get the title shot, and they're gonna make Cheeto go against Peter, which would be an absolutely amazing fight, by the way.
So if O'Malley loses, do they put him in there with Cheeto, or is Cheeto too
No,
far?
no, Cheeto's gonna fight Peter
Yeah.
for
How do
and
you
then the
see
winner
that
will
fight
fight for the
going down?
title.
How do you see
What?
how do you see Cheeto Vera faring against let's just say the top five? Like, how do you see him doing against Jan, Aldo? Well, we saw how he did against Aldo. How do you see him doing against Jan, Aljamain, and O'Malley? Let's go with those three.
I think he gets smoked by Jan. Like I think he gets
I think he
smoked.
gets beat by Jan as
I
well.
think it's smoked by Jan. I think Aldo, same outcome as last time. He's just like,
Yeah.
uh, I think he beats Sean.
Yeah, I think he knocks and finishes. I
Yeah,
think he
I think he
finishes
finishes
O'Malley. Yeah.
Sean. I think he loses to Aljo. And I think he beats Marab. So I think he's Dude, he's a weird guy because I think a guy who really possesses power and like just volume will beat him. You know what I mean? Like you saw with Aldo. Cheeto had to respect his power, so he wasn't like the same guy as he was against Font or Cruz, you
Yeah.
know, and he lost. He fought Jan, he'd have to respect his power, and Jan throws a lot of volume too, you know, like if he needs to. Like I don't think he beats Jan. I don't think he beats Aldo again. They fight again. I think Aljo would also beat him just because
I
Aljo's
could see him
wrestling.
knocking out Aljo. I could
I think
see him
he's
knock.
gonna knock out Aljo.
I could see it, man,
What about the
because
wrestling though? I know Cheeto's good at
Cheeto's a
jiu-jitsu,
big
but like
dude. He's got really good takedown defense. And again, Aljamain Sterling's wrestling is good, but if he can't find that, early grappling exchange and to submit Cheeto, I think as the fight goes on, I think Cheeto Vera's got an insane gas tank. We've seen Aljamain Sterling knocked out before,
yeah,
and
that's true.
I could just see him catching Aljamain Sterling. That's the thing about Cheeto Vera is he could be losing a fight, and all of a sudden he just finds a finish. He finds a big KO. He has a knack for finding finishes, and they're like one-shot finishes. What's so good about his game is that he has very basic striking, but then all of a sudden he'll throw some crazy technique,
Kicker.
and just mixing it up like that is really good. And he's very accurate with those crazy techniques.
He's super great.
And I think again, he's one of these guys. He's just a workhorse. He's always working. He's always getting better. He's never satisfied. And you could make the argument that he's an overperformer. But again, man, one of the things that he has going for him is that he's so tough and durable. Like you can't finish him. The only way you could finish him is by submitting him. I don't see anyone knocking him out. He's
No,
too tough. And again, he just finds those finishes. He could be losing 4 rounds of a fight, and heck, one shot and it's over, because he's really good at finding those openings, and he's patient. That's what I like about him too. He's real patient. He's got great cardio. And we saw it, this weekend against Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is doing really well, but in the first round, drops Dominic Cruz. Um, the third round
again, I think, right?
drops Dominic Cruz. So you could see as the fight picked up, even though Cruz was picking up momentum as well and doing great, you could just see that the Cheeto Vera was blooming and he was about to find something, and eventually he did. That was a vicious knockout, by the way. I mean, when I saw it, I was speechless. I was watching it. I was eating food after my show. I was chilling, watching this fight, and great fight, by the way. And he finds the KO, and it was vicious, man. Like just
Broke his nose.
head kick right off the nose, Cruz face plants, follow up shots. I mean, I felt bad. I was shocked. For me, it didn't come out of nowhere because he had been dropping Cruz here and there, but just seeing Cruz get put out like that, that's the most vicious knockout I've seen at
And you
bantamweight.
can't do anything about that. The thing about that is like, I don't even think that's a chin thing. If anybody
That
takes
wasn't a chin thing. That was just anyone would
anyone
have
takes a
gotten put
kick
out by
like
that.
that, they're
But he exposed Cruz's movement because
oh
Cruz
yeah,
is always
yeah.
going.
He
He's
timed
always
it
flipping
perfectly.
laterally. That was brilliant.
It reminded me a lot of when Cruz fought Henry Cejudo
Yeah, exactly.
when he
I
kind of
think
had
Henry landed that knee,
yeah, when Cruz
or
was
it was a
doing that
kick or a
also.
knee, but it was the
Yeah.
similar thing. This time Cheeto Vera puts him out, and again, Cheeto is so dangerous. So I like his chances against pretty much everyone except for Jan and Aldo.
Yeah, the thing about Jan, it's just like I think Cheeto gets hit a lot.
Yeah, he
I
does.
think he's
Jan
easy.
is power. Jan has a lot of power.
Jan is power, and I mean I think Cheeto probably has more power, but still like Jan, like you can't like
He's got a tight guard
yeah,
too.
you can't afford to like keep getting hit by Jan, you know, because like I know he's got the ridiculous chin, but like dude, like Jan could like it may not be the one shot, and it'll be the follow-ups, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna like he
Yeah.
over the course of the fight, he's gonna start hurting you, you know, even if you
Yeah.
got a great chin. So I think the volume of Jan's power and volume would be just too much
It's
for
crazy because I see Jan basically beating everyone, and I could see a few guys beating Aljamain, but for some reason Aljamain is like the one guy who beat Jan.
Yeah, dude, it's his wrestling, bro. Because
He's so yeah.
if he latches onto you, like you're fucked. Like he's so long for that division. Like he's such a good wrestler. Like it's like you're not gonna get Aljo off you
Yeah, if
when
he takes anyone's back, it's over.
dude.
That's why I'm
I
picking him against Dillashaw. I think he finishes him. I think he submits him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's too strong for Dillashaw.
You know what? I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think he knocks out Dillashaw. I think
Ooh,
Dillashaw is gonna go in there expecting Aljamain to wrestle heavy, and I think he will try to wrestle. I think Dillashaw, he was getting dropped a lot in that Corey Sandhagen fight.
oh, yeah.
Aljamain is a great striker. Now against Petr Yan, he may not look like he's that great, but he's a great striker. He's very well rounded. He throws a lot of volume.
Good
He
knees.
moves up real well, great kicks. I think he's gonna knock out TJ Dillashaw. That's my prediction. I think he's gonna
Uh,
knock him out.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. I mean, Dillashaw hasn't fought in a while either. You know, like these guys who haven't fought in a while. Like what can you really expect from them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Dillashaw is yeah, dude. I think he's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen yet. I haven't really like dug deep into that fight yet. I'm like, what the method would be. Like, but I obviously think that Aljo would beat Dillashaw, like, and it's gonna probably smoke Dillashaw.
I think Dillashaw's old.
Yeah,
I
dude,
watched his fight against Sandhagen again.
he didn't look.
He lost that. He should have lost
That could have
that.
went either way.
No,
That
dude, I straight up, I watched it, bro. He was getting dropped all over the place. He, at best, won 2 rounds. There's no way he should have won that fight. I don't know how they gave it to him, bro.
yeah,
I
dude,
watched it a few weeks ago, and I was thinking, how did they give this to Dillashaw?
that was
Why?
actually a good. That was a good fight, actually.
It was a great fight, and he still was impressive, but he was impressive more so because he was tough enough to
Yeah,
survive and still win later rounds. But man, he was getting dropped. His knee is bad. He got injured early in that fight. It's not like he's taking time off like Leon Edwards, who barely takes damage against Nate Diaz and then has a lot of time to improve. Like he's had surgery, he's had time out. He's not been training for
yeah.
all this time. So
That'll do something. That'll do a toll on you, you know. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Aljo is gonna smoke him. I don't know the method yet. I haven't really thought too deeply into it, but I think he's gonna for sure win. But
and back to that card, I think now that
oh
I'm thinking about it, I really don't give O'Malley a chance against Jan. I just
yeah,
don't.
I don't either. I a few weeks ago I said like that's a tough bad matchup for Jan. And I do agree it is a bad matchup for Jan. O'Malley is a guy who's long, like like he's got a weird style of fighting. So I think he'd be a hard guy to read. But I think Peter Yan doesn't give a shit at all. And I think he's just gonna fucking lay it
Yeah,
on. You
again,
know?
I could see O'Malley winning the first round. I just think that eventually Jan is gonna find him, and what if he takes O'Malley down? I know O'Malley's got good jiu-jitsu, but this is
Yeah, who
a
knows? Yeah,
jiu-jitsu
he can take him
tournament.
down. He can
This
take
isn't
him
a jiu-jitsu tournament. Jan, like if you look at the Jan and Aldo fight, Aldo's not bad on the ground.
no.
Jan hurt Aldo badly. Like I just
He
the
also
way
took Aljo down. He took Aljo down
took
later
Aldo
in the fight. Like, what the hell? Who takes Aljo
exactly.
down? You know?
And that's the thing. It's like I think that Jan is gonna either knock O'Malley down and go to the ground with him, and I think that's how it finishes. I think Jan's gonna finish him on the ground.
Wow. Okay.
I
Okay.
think I think he's gonna TKO him on the ground.
Wow. Okay. I think Jan is gonna win by decision, but
That could happen too.
I think it'll be like a 2-1 decision or something. But yeah, dude, that would be crazy. I could kind of see that. A lot of people actually have said that, like that's how they see it happening also. And I think like with O'Malley's with Jan's power, he can kind of do what he did to Sandhagen. Remember that overhand right or something? He landed it, knocked him down. I could see him like stomping on and like finishing O'Malley. But yeah, dude, that's an exciting fight regardless. But we actually got some exciting fights booked this week. We got Strickland Cannonier booked, and we got Glover Yuri 2 booked. What are your instant thoughts?
I like honestly I like both matchups, but I also don't like them. So for example, the reason why I like Cannonier and Strickland's because I think it's the fight to make. It's the right fight to make, but I don't like it because I think that it's a terrible matchup for Strickland. Like it's the right fight to make. But again, Strickland got knocked out viciously by Pereira, and now you're throwing him in with the guy who punches this the second hardest puncher in that division. Yoel Romero's not around anymore. I think Cannonier hits harder than Costa. He has that one shot
Yeah.
power. And again, he is extremely defensively sound. He has amazing leg kicks. And Strickland struggles against guys that are going to kick his legs. And again, man, he's a better striker than Strickland. Strickland outstruck Uriah Hall. That was his best striking win.
Yeah,
But
but
Uriah Hall's
Uriah Hall, like he's not doing
he's
anything now.
flashy, but he's not the best striker. I think it's a bad matchup for Strickland. He got knocked out. It's a 3 month turnaround. I think it's bad. I think he's gonna get finished. I don't like it at all. But I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
I just don't see him winning this fight. And now for the Yuri and Glover fight, I like it because we just saw the best fight of all time. And I think people are forgetting how good that one was. However, I don't like it because, you know, it's Glover and Yuri. I just would be more excited to see Yuri move on. And I know people are going to say, but Glover almost won. Glover
Who
almost won.
cares? He
He played
didn't.
so well, but he lost. Okay. He
He got
lost.
submitted too. Like he
He
got
got
finished.
submitted. He
You know, like
lost. And you could say, what if Yuri didn't make mistakes? He would have finished Glover earlier. I'm excited to see it. It'll be good. It'll be a war or it'll be an early finish. I think it's going to be an early finish. I'm going to pick Yuri as the younger man. Glover took so much damage as well. But another reason I don't like it is because what if Glover wins? Which is
that'd be
possible.
terrible. The
Because
terrible for the UFC.
it's not good if he wins. If he wins, he's going to retire. That's not good for the UFC. That's why I don't like it. That's specifically why I don't like it. And, I'm not going to lie. I'd much rather see Yuri versus Magomed and Goliath. I'd much rather see Yuri versus Jamal Hill. But we're going to see Yuri and Glover. It's going to be a good fight. That's the benefit. That's the cool thing. Also, they just had the best fight of all time at light heavyweight. But what if Glover wins? That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, that's a
It's not
terrible
good
look.
for UFC.
Like yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, like I think Yuri is gonna win by like first or second round finish this time. Like how like
I think he will. I think he's young and he's going to improve faster than
yeah,
Glover.
and I think he's gonna be upset. I think he is upset with how he performed in the last fight. I think
That's
that'll
good.
that'll motivate him to just be better, you know. And
Yeah.
I think he's gonna knock out Glover in the first round or second round.
Honestly, now that you mention it, I think I'm gonna agree with you. Like, yeah, if there's a chance Glover could submit him, but
I
Yuri's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that he's gotten better. And again, I don't like it for Glover because he's old, and if he loses again, like he lost the first time, he's gonna take so much damage, and that's not good for him at that age. Like, I think that I mean, are they trying to get rid of Glover? Are they trying to make it more
yeah,
of a statement? I don't know because he's probably going to lose. And again, if you lose to Yuri, it's like losing to Pereira
yeah,
or losing to Piotr Jan. You're going to take a lot of damage or Cheeto
yeah,
Vera.
yeah, dude. Bro, yeah, I agree. I think Yuri, it'll be more vicious this time. I think it'll be a vicious knockout, like a vicious knockout that'll just make
Yeah.
you sad. Why do all these like older guys, older legends have to just keep getting knocked out? You know, like Tony, it was first Tony Ferguson,
Well, yeah, but
and then
surprisingly,
it was Tony, and
Glover
it was
took all of
Cruz.
his shots in the last one. Surprisingly, he's
Yeah, but dude,
tough as
it's
nails, bro.
one fight later, it makes a difference. You know
Yeah,
what I
it does.
mean?
It does.
Especially against a motivated Yuri, you
Yeah,
know.
and Yuri hits. Honestly, he's probably the hardest puncher in that division.
Oh, like I think I think for sure. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I wanted to see Jan versus Yuri. I want to see Yuri against another like striker, you know?
That would be good, but I still don't think Jan deserves it.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna fight Magomed. That's what they're gonna do.
That's good. I think Magomed beats him as well.
You do. Okay.
I listen. I'm gonna say it, bro, and I know this. Listen. It sucks for me to say this, but the only guy that I could see beating Magomed is Yuri because of how wild Yuri is.
Yeah, and that's what yeah.
Jamal Hill, I think he's great. I think he can give Yuri a tough fight. I think he gives everyone a tough fight, but still, I just think Magomed is technically better than Jamal Hill, and I think he would edge him out. But I think Magomed beats everyone in that division aside from maybe Yuri. And even when it comes to Yuri, it's this close. It's 50-50 for me. That's how good I think Magomed and Goliath is. I don't want him. I don't want him to succeed, bro. I don't
He's
like.
just
I'm not a. I'm listen. I'm not a Magomed Ankalaev fan, but I respect how good he is, and I'm just gonna say it how it is. He can beat everyone in that division. Period. He could beat everyone in that division, and I think he does beat everyone in the division. Aside from maybe Yuri, that's the one fight where I don't know who wins, and it's close. But I think he beats everyone easily.
yeah. I that division, there's so many
All I gotta
different.
say is this: in that Anthony Smith fight, I think listen, if Anthony Smith never got injured, which he did, and he got injured because he was fighting Magomed. Let's say Anthony Smith was healthy, he would have lost the first round. I think he would have lost the second one even worse, and I think Magomed would have finished him anyway.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That division, there's so many ways to go. Like you could literally like there's Jamal Hill, there's Jan, then there's Magomed, there's gonna be the title fight. Like there's still Rakic who's recovering. Like one of these guys is gonna be the odd man left out waiting for Rakic. So
Yeah.
it's either gonna I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be Jamal Hill waiting for Rakic. That's what I
Yeah.
think they're gonna do. And I think they'll do Jan versus Magomed. That makes sense. They're both ready to fight, you know. But yeah, and then that'll be their more contender fight. I think Jamal Hill is a fun fighter, but I don't think he beats uh any like Yuri Magomed or even Jan. I don't think he beats those guys. I think yeah, I don't I think those guys are too complete. They're more polished overall. Jamal Hill is a bit wild. I mean, I know Yuri's wild, but Yuri's a way better fighter overall
He's tough though. That's the one thing about
Jamal
Jamal Hill.
Hill.
He's
Yeah,
so
dude.
tough.
Yuri's tough. Yuri took the best shots from like all of his last four opponents, you know what I mean? Or three opponents who were like heavy punchers. Like Glover wobbled Jan, you know, like Glover's still a heavy puncher, you know,
Yeah,
like
Glover almost knocked out Yuri. I mean, he
yeah,
knocked him
yeah,
down.
yeah. He did, and he took it, and he didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
So I would say that Jamal Hill, he definitely also has a wild style, but he doesn't have the chin of Yuri. So, and I don't think anybody really in that division has a chin like Yuri. So
But
he can
has he
get away
been
with it
dropped?
for the
Has
most
Jamal
part.
been dropped? Because he has a chin.
He
He
definitely. I
took
don't think
big
he's really
shots.
been dropped, but I think like, dude, there's a difference, but like he hasn't shown a real chin because of against opponents because of the opponents he's fought. You know what I'm saying? Like
Thiago Santos hits hard, bro.
yeah, but he's also old. I don't know. I think he's older now and like he hasn't put anybody's lights out in a while. So I think I don't know. I mean, it's a little different. Yuri shown it a lot more. You know what I mean? Like he's taken what's Reyes's shots. Um, who else did he fight? I don't even he fought two fights before the title. Who it was Reyes.
I think I see what you're saying, but Yuri, he's taken tons of damage. First of all, he basically got knocked out in the Reyes fight by an up kick. He admitted it himself, by the way. He basically got knocked out in that fight. Now that was an up kick. That was like a unorthodox move, and basically it can knock out anyone. But I think that Yuri, I think you're overrating his. I don't think you're overrating his toughness. I think you're overrating his chin a little bit because he has a great chin, but I don't think he has this like next level chin. Like he's tough. He has the heart. He's durable, but I don't think he's got like this crazy chin.
So what do you see the difference between Jamal Hill and Yuri?
I think that Jamal Hill's chin in and of itself, like it's pretty damn good. I've never seen him wobble. And you're right, he hasn't fought um any guy who's really tested it, but I think I think I think that they're both similar as far as their toughness goes. But when it comes to the chin in and of itself, I think that Yuri's chin is not necessarily exceptional.
But what about their level of fighting? Like if
Okay, well then I
yeah.
see Yuri winning that.
Yeah, okay, no, that's what I mean. Like if Yuri could I could see him. I think you also see him beating these top guys.
I also see that being one of the best. I think that's one of the best fights you could ever make.
Jamal
Jamal.
Hill versus Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, but I just for some reason I just can't see Jamal Hill like beating those guys and getting it to the title. Like I don't know why. I just can't see it, but like I could see Yuri beating all these guys. Like even though and they're like kind of similar styles. I kind of similar, like you know what I
I know
mean?
what you mean. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, like so like that's what I'm just like it's weird because like they're similar.
Yeah.
I think Yuri's got the more power, even though Jamal Hill's got very good power. I think that's the difference, you know. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I think, like I said, like one of those guys is gonna be the odd man left out and having to wait till Rakic. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
on because they're not gonna rematch it.
Yeah, the Rakic versus Jamal Hill fight could be the fight. I
That's gonna
think
be a
Jamal Hill
fight.
beats Jan Blachowicz, by the way. I
Wow.
think he beats Jan because he doesn't really throw kicks. He's a boxer. He's a boxer first. Jan Blahovich's grappling is pretty good, but I like Jamal Hill's grappling.
They're not gonna grapple. They're not gonna. It's not
I don't
gonna.
think they're gonna grapple. I think that Jan would get knocked out by Jamal Hill.
Okay, I can see that. Jan's
And
got it
that's
knocked
just an
out.
age thing. That's just an age thing. I
Yeah.
really think
Okay.
Jan is gonna.
Dude, I would like that fight. I mean, like I would just assume that they would give Magomed the Jan fight just
But I
because.
think Rakic beats Jamal Hill.
Okay. Rakic is dangerous, dude. Like if
He's
who knows if
dangerous.
he didn't get hurt, like he could have won that fight. But I mean, dude, like with injuries, it's just like can't
Yeah,
even,
there's been so many.
yeah,
But
dude. You
by the
can't,
way, let's talk about this because maybe I don't know if we've discussed this before, but let's go over who are the most entertaining champions and entertaining divisions because like I
okay.
just want to say light heavyweight was boring for a few years. You know, when John Jones
Yeah,
was in the division just a few years ago, it was a little boring.
it was
Now we were just talking we could talk about light heavyweight for an hour. Obviously bantamweight. I think, and I'm just gonna say it. Number one, here's my top five most entertaining divisions. Number one has got to be bantamweight because everyone's fighting each other. Number two, I think honestly, it's light heavyweight. I think light heavyweight is extremely entertaining right now. Number three, I would go as far as to say it's got to be I'd say lightweight. Number three is lightweight. Number four, welterweight. You know, I think welterweight's great. And featherweight would be up there, but Volkanovsky is just so far ahead from everyone. I don't think it's that entertaining, and guys aren't really fighting each other. So I don't even think featherweight's in there. I might even say heavyweight. That's middleweight is the is okay. But it's kind of boring. Middleweight's a boring division. 125 is 125. It's never going to be the most entertaining division. And featherweight, which was awesome, no one's fighting each other. Volkanovski is there's no more what's gonna happen with Max and Volk. That's done. I mean, let's just take a second to appreciate how amazing Volkanovski's performance over Max was. I mean, that we know how good Max is. Here's the top guys in the division. Max Holloway's here. Volkanovski's not even in the same
now at
realm.
this point, yeah.
So that kind of takes away from the excitement of the division. But yeah, I think those are the best divisions, and I think that the champions speak for themselves as well. I think like Yuri being an extremely entertaining champion, Charles being an extremely entertaining champion. You have Aljamain, who's not the most entertaining champion, but at least that division is stacked.
Yeah.
He puts out good fights. So
Yeah,
um,
dude. I would agree with you. I think like bantamweight clearly number one. I think lightweight is number two actually.
that's
And
fine. I mean, lightweight's always good. I just wish that there were more. Wish
fights.
there was more action, but at least we have Dustin and
Yeah.
Chandler.
When they are fights, they're good ones.
Yeah.
I like light heavyweight. I think welterweight, middleweight isn't so interesting.
Yeah.
125 is 125. And then 45 is not interesting at all because nobody.
45 was interesting, like all the way up until that trilogy.
Yeah,
And
dude.
now it's not.
Yeah, dude. I just wanted to say again, like I really respect these bantamweights. Like all of them are fighting in the span of a few months. Like when was the last time this has happened? Like I like that's just very respect. I respect that a lot, honestly. Like major props to the bantamweights.
If you think about it, they've always been active, honestly. So like The bantamweight division is arguably the most consistently entertaining and exciting division. 155 is always amazing. Welterweight, the guys never really fight each other. Featherweight, you have a hard time making fights, and I feel in the heavier weight classes, there's less of those big fights as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really respect that. And yeah, I brought up some segments for us to do this week. Couple, and then we got to answer the questions on TikTok. We actually got a bunch of questions, so we'll leave the end of the podcast for that. But so I've said biggest threat to each champ in every division.
All right, let's do each division. Let's go back and forth for each division. So for the heavyweight, Francis Ngannou.
Oh, you started with heavyweight, not fat bantam, not flyweight.
Okay, fine. Let's
no.
Okay, let's start heavyweight. I think the biggest threat to Francis Ngannou is I think it's Cyril Gane.
Okay. Okay.
I think Cyril Gane beat him already, so for me it's an easy answer. I already have Cyril Gane beating him.
Okay.
I think it's Cyril Gane.
Okay, so I'll go light heavyweight.
For you, what do you think?
Okay, so all right, so we'll do it like that. All right, so heavyweight, I would say John Jones.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, John Jones, dude, his wrestling, unbelievable. France is massive, so who knows if John Jones could even move him around, like control him. Like I don't know. We don't know yet, but I would just have to say Jones. But light heavyweight to Yuri. Ooh.
I think it's Magomed.
Magomed.
Yeah.
Magomed fights his fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna beat Yuri. If he brings it to later rounds, he's gonna beat Yuri. Yeah, so I would say Magomed is the most dangerous threat to Yuri in the light heavyweight division.
I'd agree.
Yeah, okay.
Middleweight, again, it's a little different than my answer for heavyweight because I do believe that Whitaker beat Adesanya in the rematch, but I think it's Pereira. I think that's the obvious one. Pereira, because you could say Hamza, but he's not in the division right now, so I'd say Pereira easily.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pereira. Did you see all the people getting these Izzy fans getting so salty when we were like, Pereira is gonna smoke Izzy, all that shit? Like,
but what are they basing their salty after? I mean,
we've seen,
literally
like,
got knocked out. Like, what do you want?
Dude, these anime
He got knocked out by him. He's got beat by him twice.
Yeah, like
doesn't make sense.
When fighters fight twice, the guy who wins the first time usually wins. When they fight 3 times and the first guy, I mean, it's usually never the case. Like if a guy wins twice, they usually win a third time. And you could say like MMA is different, but like, dude, they're gonna be kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
How is it gonna be different?
And even if Adesanya wrestles, you think he's gonna have success? No,
he's not even gonna wrestle.
Not a wrestler. He's not gonna have success.
You take
Pereira's stuff takedowns from guys that are better than him. He's not. There's no way he's having success. So people saying it's MMA, like that's just a bullshit casual statement. Like you're not actually reading into this fight. It's gonna be kickboxing.
And it's gonna be kickboxing. And Pereira, dude, like you look at it, like the guy who knocked the other guy out with, I think it was probably like 10 ounce gloves or something.
Yeah.
These are 4-ounce gloves. Like those punches are gonna hurt a lot more. So and that was also on a week notice. When Izzy got knocked out, like, dude, what's gonna happen? Like, it's so clear. Like, if Adesanya wins, I again, like, you probably wouldn't be surprised. He probably would just go make it, drag it to like a boring decision. But
another thing is I mentioned that he doesn't fare well against guys that are his size or bigger or whatever. And people were saying, well, Jan only did well against him because he was much heavier and he was much bigger. No, it's all about, I'm talking about the structure, the reach, the build, the height. Okay. When those things are similar, guys can touch Adesanya easier. They have an easier time finding his head when punches. And that's what I mean. Pereira will be able to land shots on Adesanya's chin, period. Yeah. He'll be able to. Yeah, he's the same height. He's got similar reach. He's gonna win that fight.
Dude, yeah, like
it's the same thing as me predicting Volkanovsky to 50-45 max, and then he 50-43s him.
Yeah, dude.
People were saying, you're a casual, you know what you're talking about. Just stop. These people read so deeply into these things. I mean, again, that's the best prediction I ever gave because I saw it coming. I saw Volkanovsky being too much for him. And same thing. I'm just as confident in this one. I don't see Adesanya. I think this is it for Adesanya. I think he loses this one clearly.
Do you think they do the rematch if they, or if you think he gets knocked out so badly that?
Honestly, I think he gets knocked out so badly that he's not going to want a rematch.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
And I don't think the UFC is going to want that either. Because listen, if Adesanya loses, the UFC is going to know how happy the fans are. They're not going to want to rush him to a rematch. They might give him that. You know what they'll do? They'll have Pereira do a quick turnaround against someone else. But here's the thing: if Pereira knocks out Adesanya, and I'm not like this massive Alex Pereira fan. I don't like Adesanya. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm not a fan of him. However, I know that I think Whitaker beats Pereira. I think Whitaker takes him down. I think Whitaker out wrestles him. I think Vittori could potentially beat Alex Pereira. I think a bunch of guys in that division could beat him. I just don't see anyone who's a predominant striker beating him.
that's what I love about the UFC. Like you just like have these guys who are like so dangerous to one guy,
Yeah.
and like other guys would just smoke or beat them. Like it was
Like Jan and Aljamain.
yeah.
Aljamain nightmare for Jan because he's good at taking the back and that's a weakness in Jan's game.
That's what I love about the UFC. But yeah, so let's keep it going. For welterweight, I would say Chimaev. I mean, that's the
Chimaev.
answer. The Usman, it feels like that's the shift
Yeah.
in division. It feels like that's the Tyron Woodley to Usman.
Yeah,
The
he's the
next
real
guy,
deal. He's the real deal.
he's the real deal. It seems like the passing of the torch is going to happen in
Yeah, I mean,
2023.
I know he had a tough fight against Burns, but that was the best Burns that ever showed
Dude,
up in an octagon.
people
Period.
criticizing Chimaev for that is ridiculous. I have to say, like ridiculous. Like, dude, like he just went toe to. He went, dude. Like, it's better for it was.
He's not even like a great, he's not even, he's a good striker, but he's not the striker. Burns is the only guy that could put up a good amount of resistance to Chimaev on the ground.
Yeah,
And that's because of how aware he is with his grappling. That's not because he's the most dangerous grappler. It's not because he's going to submit you, but he's good at getting out of certain things. He's good at making sure that you can't put him in a vulnerable position. I don't see Usman is nowhere near the level of jiu-jitsu as Gilbert Burns. And Chimaev took Gilbert Burns down, drug him across the octagon like he was a child. I know Usman's big. I know he's hard to take down.
not as big as Chimaev.
Chimaev's got a different level of strength. Okay, Usman's a beast, but Chimaev is just fucking different, bro. Like he's uh, dude, these guys from Dagestan, like I've heard it about Habib, Islam. Luke Rockhold said in his interview yesterday,
Yeah, I saw that.
you know, kind of worries me about Charles, but and I've heard this time and time again, these guys from Dagestan, especially Habib, Islam, they just have a different level of strength. And Rockhold said that he uses them. He used Habib, Islam 55ers to give him hard grappling rounds.
Yeah.
So Chimaev is just a much bigger version of Islam and Habib, but he has the same genetic code. So like, I just don't see anyone beating him.
Yeah, I mean,
Shavkat Rachmanov is the one guy I think that gives him a good fight. But other
he's
than that, I don't
small,
see anyone
bro.
beating him.
He's too small. I think
Yeah,
Chimaev.
Shavkat's he's too skinny.
Yeah, he's too small
He's
for.
still a beast,
He's a beast. He's an up and coming guy for
but
sure.
that's a good fight. It's two guys from the mountains in the part of the region like fighting each other. That'd be a cool
Yeah.
fight.
I mean, it'd be a good fight. I think Chimaev would win, but I think I just wanted to give like an early prediction or like what I would think would happen if Usman fought Chimaev. And I think what would happen is I think like look, if they strike, Chimaev's gonna outstrike him. If they try to wrestle, Chimaev's gonna out wrestle him. Like there's no like the only way that Usman would win that fight would be if like his
Outlasting him.
experience would yeah, it would be outlasting him. But you're not gonna dude, like what if Chimaev wins the first 3 rounds? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
he may not have a great last 2 rounds, but he would have already won
Yeah.
the first
And I don't
three.
think he gets submitted. So like
He's not getting submitted by Usman.
no, no.
And I don't think he'd get knocked out by Usman. Like I just, dude, I think Chimaev would be the first guy to finish Usman in the
I
UFC.
think he will be.
I think, dude, Usman's got him wobbled by Covington. He got him
Yeah,
wobbled by Burns. Burns
yeah,
has power, but Covington doesn't. Um, dude, what's gonna happen when he fights Chimaev? Also,
yeah. I think he
if you
loses
look
that
at all
one.
the fights, Usman's bigger than all of his opponents. Like
And again, he's starting to show signs of like Tyron Woodley from
yeah,
2019.
dude,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly. His knees are bad. Like, dude, Chimaev is gonna freaking pick him up, slam him on the ground, TKO him.
yeah,
That's
straight
what's
up.
gonna happen.
So let's talk about lightweight. Charles Oliveira, who's the biggest threat to him?
I think
I
we
think
know the
Islam.
answer. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, that strength, bro. That's the one thing. Like, but people talk about the strength. Charles Oliveira is arguably the second biggest lightweight that there is. So
yeah, could be the biggest. I
could
mean,
be the biggest, yeah.
dude, like the thing
I
about
think Charles beats him. I understand how dangerous Islam is, but Islam's only way to victory, in my opinion, is just holding him down and wet blanketing him.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, dude.
I
I
think
mean,
listen, Islam's only way to actually mount off any offense or find any kind of or do any damage is going to be in the later rounds. I don't see him having any success. I think he can maybe neutralize Charles at best, but other than that, like, where's he going to land damage? I don't see him doing much damage on the ground
yeah,
early on when Charles has gas and he
yeah. I mean,
is
yeah.
grappling.
I'm excited for that fight. Like we've talked about it a lot in every episode, so I don't want to like give. I
Yeah,
give.
yeah, yeah. We've talked about it a lot, but I think it's clearly
Yeah, yeah.
Islam for sure.
It's clearly Islam. Islam is a real threat to Charles. Will he win? We don't think so, but we'll have to see. Featherweight, dude. I'm gonna
Oh
say this.
man,
Volk, nobody. I'm gonna
dude,
say
yeah, let's just say no one because we could talk about guys that are down the rankings that are coming up, but like that's not a
guys.
serious take.
It's Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's the biggest threat to
Yeah, yeah,
Volk.
but that's like, come on, Josh Emmett was.
Yeah.
I know he's got that's the
No,
definition
Josh
of a
Emmett
punter's,
gets smoked by Volk.
that's the
Anybody
definition
gets
of a
smoked by
punter's
Volk.
chance. There's no way.
Yeah, no, Volk, nobody's a threat to him in
No
that.
one's a threat to him at 145,
And
which is crazy because 145 is actually a good division. It's just like
Volk is
because Volkanovsky is so good, no one comes close. 135. Who's the biggest threat to Aljamain?
that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I think it's Jose Aldo or Piotr Jan. But I'm gonna say Jose Aldo. I think I'd be willing to bet money on him to beat Aljamain Sterling
Ooh, so
because
Jose
he's such a
Aldo.
good anti-wrestler, and I think he's a much better technical striker. He's got good defense. He's got good cardio, relatively good cardio. I would pick him to
Got it
beat.
better, yeah.
I'd say him and Piotr Jan.
Dude,
But Piotr Jan just lost, so I'm gonna leave him out.
If Jose Aldo wins the title and retires,
That'll be crazy.
that would be one of the best moments in
You
UFC
you
history.
could then say that he's top four all time, maybe top. If he becomes, I know the GOAT discussion is always like, it's never really, you never really know, but it's gonna be GSP Jones. Uh
What
Honestly, if he wins the title, him and Anderson Silva become interchangeable, in my opinion.
dude, I think Aldo's in front of it, Anderson Silva, if he wins
Yeah,
the belt.
I I,
I
I
also
think
think
you could say that.
Usman's gonna be up there if he
Usman's gonna be top. If Usman beats Leon Edwards, he's top five all time.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, dude, if Aldo finishes career winning the belt, if Aldo wins the belt, retires, that would be one of the greatest moments in UFC history, without a
Yeah.
doubt. And I honestly, I'm cheering for that to happen. I really am. I think that would be amazing.
Also, I'm just gonna say it. I think Volkanovski has potential to become the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he does. I think honestly, there's, for example, the 155 division, the best fighters in that division are not the guys at the top of the rankings. The best fighters in that division are the guys that are just cracking the top 15, like Mateusz Gamrot, Arman Sarukian. Those are the best fighters in that division. Islam, and of course Charles. Volkanovski is like higher level than those up and coming guys. Like he is ahead of the game, and I think that there's a chance that he gets better moving up. Like Charles got better moving up,
Mhm.
Dustin got better moving up. if Volkanovsky is better at 155, he's gonna go down as the GOAT. I think he has GOAT potential, but that's just that's for the future. We'll see.
He'd have to
We'll
win the
see how his
belt.
next fight plays out. But
Hey,
I really do think he has potential to become the GOAT
yeah, I think he'd have to win the belt in
at
55
155.
to be considered the GOAT.
It's just, dude, his win over Max Holloway is so impressive.
Dude, like
His second
nobody's ever done anything like that. Like to Max or anybody who's that high, like in
high
that
level.
for their high level for their division, like who's dominated someone else who's was in the GOAT discussion in their division like that
Yeah.
ever. Nobody, like
No one.
that was extremely impressive. And I would agree. I think if Volk moves up, dominates 55, or at least defends the title once or twice, he's
Yeah,
he's the
he's definitely the GOAT.
he's the GOAT. I'm sorry, like he is. Like it's not about title defenses only. Like it's about you still want to have a lot of title defenses, but it's not only about that. It's about domination. It's about doing shit in different divisions. Like, yeah, it's about being the best fighter, greatest
Right.
fighter, like not greatest for your division. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then 25 to finish off. I think Marino is the biggest threat to Figueroa. I think that's a clear one. I think Marino's gonna win that fourth
I
fight.
agree.
He's way younger. Figueroa's only 35. Like I know he's still really great, but Marino is he's getting better, and I think he's he is champion for years to come written all over him. So I could see Marino. I mean, I can't. I mean, it's gonna happen. Marino is gonna beat Figueroa in the fourth fight, and he's gonna reign over that division for years to come.
Hmm.
So yeah. Also, before we do go up to the questions, I have one more segment that I think the people are gonna love. Our top five most boring fighters.
I would say Leon Edwards is well, you have to take into account like there are boring fighters, but we're really looking at the high profile ones.
Yeah, and look, we respect all these fighters. We respect them. We're us as fans just find them boring to watch. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I would say Leon Edwards is at the top of the pack right now. Oh, no, I'd say Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is number one. So Israel Adesanya is the most boring fighter. Then I would say um Alexander Rakic is up there as well.
Okay.
Alexander Rakic is definitely one of them. Leon Edwards, he's definitely in there. And then I would say, let's see. Hmm. Um, that's a tough one. Now there aren't that many boring guys. I mean, that's the thing. Adesanya is boring when he's easily the first pick.
I actually have some other guys who I think are maybe clearly one, and I
Who?
just Sean Brady,
Oh, Sean Brady. Yeah.
Sean Brady, and also I mean Bilal Muhammad. I still think Magomed's up there,
Yeah, Bilal Muhammad's up there for sure.
dude. But Sean Brady, bro,
Sean Brady's pretty boring.
dude, he's so boring. Like, dude, he may
Yeah.
be number one for me.
He's a
Like,
wet blanket, straight
dude,
up.
he's so like, bro, I've never, yeah, dude, sitting through a Sean Brady fight may be worse than sitting through an Israel Adesanya fight.
Yeah.
And it's not even because of the action. Like, it's just like, I mean, it is because like even when he strikes, it's just not entertaining
Yeah.
either. Like, dude, I just can't stand Sean Brady's fighting, and I hope I Bilal Muhammad's very boring too, but I think Bilal Muhammad's more entertaining than Sean Brady, which is you would
Mhm.
never think that someone could be more entertaining than Bilal Muhammad, and
Right.
those two are fighting. So I could feel like that could end up making it to be a exciting fight. Two of the most boring fighters, maybe make it a great fight. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I think that'll be an interesting fight. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
boring though.
Dude, Sean Brady, bro. Like I can't stand. I was rewatching some of his fights, and they're just torture, like
Uh,
torture. I was literally having to I was having to skip his
yeah, they're
wrestling.
terrible.
He's like, dude, it's been super. He's very boring, but why don't we get to the questions on
Yeah.
TikTok? Because we got a good amount of those. So let's get to those. So thank you guys for those who commented. All right, let's see it. Okay. Questions. Let's do it. Okay, so
Answer your question.
we got top three of all time.
Jones, GSP, and Anderson Silva.
Okay. Yeah, I would say Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva also. I think that's a pretty clear list for now. Who are the top 10 best strikers in the UFC? I don't know about I don't know if we can do 10, but like we'll do 5.
Yeah, I'll say, barring like the weight classes, because obviously like the lighter guys are the best. Say Volkanovsky number one. He outstruck Max Holloway, is one of the best strikers in UFC. Just dominated him in the striking in the last fight without grappling. I'd say Alexander Volkanovsky. Cyril Gane easily for me is the best striker at heavyweight without a doubt. I would say Piotr Jan is definitely one of the best strikers in the UFC. I would say Adesanya and Pereira. You got to put those guys in there too.
Yeah.
So those are my top 5.
I got Adesanya, Pereira, Connor, Volk.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't put in Connor anymore, but I'd put in Fiziev.
I'd also put in Poirier.
Fiziev.
Poirier is kind of like a boxer. It does not as much the kicks, but I like that. That's a good question. In y'all opinions, what's the best fight of all time?
For me, I'm always biased because I like Yoel Romero was my favorite fighter, but I'm gonna say Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker too. That was my favorite fight of all time.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
I watched
a fight.
Dude, that was damn, that fight was so good.
That was a
And
great
watching
fight.
it live was amazing because the first 2 rounds, like first of all, in the first round, I'm expecting Romero. He's coming off of this win against Luke Rockhold, where he knocks him out. I'm expecting him because he's throwing bombs, he's missing them, and I'm thinking, oh wow, this is another Yoel Romero knockout waiting to happen. And then Whittaker like kicks his ass badly for the first 2 rounds, especially round 2, breaks his orbital bone, really whoops him up, and I'm like, damn, Whittaker is just on another level. Round 3 is chaos. Yoel Romero dropping Whittaker all over the place. Whittaker still putting up a great fight. Round 4, Whittaker is just outclassing him, and then round 5, Yoel Romero almost finishes him again.
That was great.
That's my favorite fight of all time.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say the same thing. Also like it's probably a common answer, but Covington Usman won. I really like that fight.
That was an excellent one too.
Yeah,
that
one. That's a fight I rewatch all the time. This ain't a question. This is a statement. Period. Marv is gonna dog walk Bobby Knuckles.
Wait, yeah, that's
what?
I don't even know if you're serious when you say that, because I think he's
Based
only
off
saying
what?
that. He's only saying that because he knows that I just don't take a comment like that serious. I don't think he really believes it. Like I think he's trolling.
Yeah.
If he's not trolling, then he's in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, Marvin's gonna get smoked.
That's a nightmare for Marvin.
Why do people peddle that Dom is the best bantamweight of all time? His biggest wins were against 25ers, period. TJ is the bantamweight GOAT.
TJ ain't the bantamweight GOAT, bro. I think TJ Dillashaw is overrated, bro. Straight up.
Dude,
listen, TJ was good, but he was sauced, and he beat Cody Garbrandt.
Twice. That's
his best win is Barao. He beat Cody Garbrandt. He got whooped up by Cruz. He's overrated. I think Dominic Cruz is much better than TJ Dillashaw in as far as legacy goes, pretty easily. He's done more. He was champion for longer. He has better wins. He has a more successful career as far as he's been able to stretch it out. He still looks great today. TJ Dillashaw, I think the game has passed him up, and he got exposed by Henry Cejudo. He got beat up by Corey Sandhagen. Wasn't really champion for long. And again, I'm not that impressed with a win over Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt he was made for one guy and one guy only, and that was Dominic Cruz. Other than that, Cody Garbrandt's overrated.
Yeah, also the PEDs will just that whole
PEDs as well.
will never allow him to be the GOAT in that division. I know
Yeah.
Jones got
Well,
caught,
yeah, you could say the same thing about Jones,
but it's a
though.
bit Jones like
Jones
dominant.
is different. Jones has like 15 title defenses,
Yeah,
bro.
like so that's a bit different. Same with
Yeah.
Silva. It's a bit different. TJ didn't defend the belt like that.
Yeah.
Um,
But Jones
also,
did lose, straight up. I know people will say, but he didn't lose against Matt Hamill. Listen, he lost against Dominic Reyes, period. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
and also TJ, like TJ lost to Dominic Cruz. So why would he
Yeah.
be in front of Dominic Cruz in that case? If they're going head to head, that's what you want to see in GOAT discussions. Like
Yeah.
they go head to head. And Cruz was older too, and he still won. So I think Cruz is the bantamweight GOAT for sure. And with the last question for that we're gonna go with today, who will be the next bantamweight champion?
Um, well, if O'Malley gets the next shot, he loses. I think it's either Jan or Aldo.
Jan or Aldo. Okay, okay, I like it. I mean, like we said, I mean, we like Aljo here, but to see Aldo win a belt before he retires would be
And also, you can't really say Aljo's the next champion because he already is champion. Like
yeah,
he could
exactly,
defend 5 times. He's not the next champion.
exactly. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Aldo or Jan. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um I think that's it for questions and think we're good for the day, for the week.
Mhm.
Um yeah, I wanted just to clip this for TikTok. So we're at 800 followers. Get us to 1,000
Get
by
us to
this
a K
weekend.
by the weekend. We want
We
a
want to
live
go
stream.
live. We want to go live. Me and Lucas want to go live. We're actually going to give out $20. The chance it's I know it's not a lot, but it's a chance to just like win $20 just for a follow, you know? If we get to 1,000 followers this weekend, we will be giving out $20 to a random follower. Simple as that. $20 for just a follow. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have anything else, Lucas?
No, I'm just really excited for this weekend's fights, and I can't wait. There's a big card feel, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the weekend. So looking forward to what's to come.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, definitely going to be a lot to talk about next weekend too. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. All right. Well, great episode as always. We'll see you next weekend.